Good afternoon, everyone. It is May 2nd, 2023. For once, not doing this at midnight. So hopefully this is a little bit smoother for you guys. Now, what did we have today? Well, I was not looking for a liquidation session coming in today. I was thinking that, we might sell down to about 41.55 or so on the ES, maybe get into the 30s. And then over on the NQ, I was thinking, maybe we get around 13,200. But as you can see, we've had a large sell-off. The sell-off ending around 41.07 was the level I had towards the afternoon. You can see I said didn't expect a liquidation session, but I was looking for 41.07 and 105 on the NQ to mostly cap our lows and then get a rally back to settlement lows, so 41.43 and kind of that 13,220-ish area on the NQ, and that's what we got. A rally up to 44, and on the NQ, a rally up to, not loading, it rallied up to about 220-ish or so. Now, something to note on both tickers, but mostly the ES, is that we have closed yesterday's session with heavy negative deltas, and today as well, closing with heavy negative deltas. So, what does that mean to me? Well, it means that the rally we had in the afternoon, in my opinion, was based off an absence of selling rather than buying. It was just one of these float up sort of move ups. It's not something where people were covering hard or buying hard. It was just a lack of selling occurring. Um, and we saw that towards if we go on a smaller time frame chart here, we can see that as soon as sellers wanted to initiate, they really did. It was pretty clear whenever they wanted to initiate around that 40 number, they did so. They held this sort of auction here we had around 10:30, and they just repeatedly slammed this thing. So to me, sellers remain in control, given that the deltas are still heavily negative. Now, uh, overall, in terms of a big picture, where are we trading? Well, uh, this was our key support, not last week, but the week prior. This kind of 38 to 32 zone. We held it on the Friday session overnight, holding that trend line and moving upwards. Now we're back to it, and of course, it is resistance. To me, this is sort of a neutral area. I'd mentioned when I made this chart, and you can see I wrote that 41.55, yeah, sure, is a pivot, but there are many spots to buy. I should say actually over 40.94.75. Uh, to me, this is all sort of a buyable zone. Uh, so overall, we're not in deeply negative territory. Similarly, on the NQ, we held this pivot zone really well. 110 was where it started. I think the low of the day was at, I think it might have been 110. Yeah, 110 quarter. So a front run of one tick. Uh, and then we got back up to that 210 zone, which has been such critical resistance for so long, all month long in April, and just kind of closing in between there. So to me, we're not in some deeply negative territory, despite what might have seemed like a huge liquidation session. If anything, this was just a healthy cleanup of those trapped shorts from last week, and now we're sort of in more neutral territory. Overall, I have a slight bearish tilt in that the deltas have been super, super negative so far. The deltas on ES on the week are actually the lowest they've been since I can look back in recent history, so a month or so back. These are the lowest they've been. So what I'll be looking for in terms of trading this is, well, first of all, we have FOMC tomorrow. We've got what is this? ADP non-farm employment changes at 8:15, so that's pre-market. ISM services at 10 o'clock, and then FOMC at 2 p.m. So a lot of news here, and then on top of that, after such a large session, and this really is quite large for us, a gap down and move down another 70 points or so. That's very large for us relative to our recent ranges. Um, I'll be looking for a smaller range. I'll be looking for a quieter session. So how am I looking to trade this? Well, if we open somewhere around this kind of 41.25 area, I'll be looking to take the point of control for a short. That is at 39 half. 38 has been the critical level, that Q1 close. We closed today's session as well at 37.25, that 4 p.m. close with the point of control coming at 39.5. I like that. A stop above these highs for a move down to test that kind of 41.50 auction where we had that little bit of short covering and then the slow rally up. I don't think this would hold. It was not a strong auction and strong move up. Maybe it holds. I have trouble trusting it. Below there, I want to be long 97s after a tag of 94.75, 94.75 being last month's value area low, 95% value area low, and then just simply getting back inside that April 27th low a day. I think that's April 27th, yes. Just getting back inside that low of the day, and then we can start creeping our way back upwards. Below there, getting long 76 half, that being the weekly 95% value area low from last week. So just playing those little value area lows, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't even reach 97 or double O, given that it is an FOMC session. So unless I see some nice volatility occurring, I likely won't even be trading this for what it's worth. Above there, I think there might be a possible short around that 68 area. However, with the gap open, I'll be waiting to get short 84.75, that really, really nice level. This can be changed to that. So I'll be looking to get short 84.75. So that's all I'm really looking for on the ES. I doubt even maybe we get the 39s trade. I doubt that'll happen. I'm not too hopeful the 97 trade happens. Over on the NQ, again, 200 to 230 is our major zone. Let me just pull up some of these. I forgot to copy these over. I want to be short 13,221. Just part of that higher time frame key level, this zone here from about 200 to 227. So I want to be short in there. What I'll be looking for is just a run of these highs that we had going into the end of the day, this sort of double top and this top over here. So run these stops and then get short. So perhaps I will actually make that a run of what is this? 224 quarter, 224 quarter. So after a run of 224 quarter. So that's what I'll be looking for, getting short there. It's just been such potent resistance that I think it will still be worthwhile. Above there, looking to get short at 263 quarter, right around settlement lows. That's also where we had roughly a nice bid here. If we go to a 1 minute, you can see there was a temporary bid there at 10:05. That is where we had some bids towards the end of the day, or sorry, towards midday on Monday. That initial bid there, and then that is where we had some bids as well on that Friday session and some offers. So I like that as a level. So 263 quarter, that's also roughly where the ADR highs are coming in at. Above there, getting short at 289s. This is just roughly the 95% weekly value area high. It's also some other sort of extreme, if you want to call it that, spots. It's the quarterly VWAP, standard deviation 2, 91% monthly value area high from last month, 93 half is the 95% value area high from last month. So just a lot of stuff there, but most importantly, just sort of an auction and then the sell-off. So that's where I'm looking to get short. Below there, longs. Looking to get long at 110 quarter roughly, or sorry, I think that is our low of the day. Yes. Yes. Getting long at the low of the day after a tag of 105, that just being the monthly VWAP close. Below there, taking 55s long, that just being the VWAP close, the weekly VWAP close from last week. So and similarly, not thinking all these are going to get tagged. I think maybe we get a tag of this 110. That might be likely. I think it's quite likely we get a run of these stops at 221. Maybe we get into 263, and honestly, I'm doubtful we get into 288, especially if ES is at 84. So by the time we get to 263, so if we're at 84, 85 on ES and we're trading 263 on NQ, I doubt that we get the push higher to 288s on the NQ. So that's all I have. That's how I'm looking at it. Looking at a quiet session ahead of FOMC and the ADP and the whatever the hell it was. What is that? ISM services. So ahead of all the news, and then I think we're just going to have a quiet FOMC session. And again, not really looking to trade this. If it's a quiet session in those first 5 minutes, if volatility's not there, if volume's not there, I won't be looking to trade this. I want to see some volatility. FOMC is usually a quiet session, so I don't really have much of an interest in trading it. Uh, Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. Ooh, geez, 10 and a half minutes. Have a great night, and there may be an update to this pre-market, but I don't really think there will be. Anyway, have a great night and trade safe.